So please kindly everybody unmute and chant one time Hare Krishna to her. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Yeah, thank you everyone.
Shri Nrsimhadev
Bhagwan
protect.
ki jai, jai. Thank you. Thank you. I think Prabhuji joined. We'll start the recording here. Hare Krishna everyone. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Arjun Sakha Prabhu to enlighten us on the topic of Sri Caitanya Bhagavat Madhya Khanda 17 chapter 32 to 37 verse. Before I hand over the call to Prabhu, I would like to read Srila Prabhupada's quote for today, 7th November. The difference between a devotee and non-devotee is this. Just like a bee and the fly, the bee is always attracted by the honeys and the fly goes to the open source. So the devotee is only attracted by the good qualities in other people and does not see their faults. November 7th, 1971. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, are you ready? Yes, I see Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu, in this month of the holy month, Kartik, giving your association, listening from you is a great fortune for all of us, Prabhu. Over to you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji and Hare Krishna dear devotees for kindly joining for this mid-morning call or the night call wherever we are joining from in this holy month of Kartik. Before I begin, I would like to chant the Mangalacharan prayers, seek auspiciousness from our spiritual superiors like Srila Prabhupada, and then get started in our today's discussion. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनेति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे श्री हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. This morning we are reading from the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. This is Madhya Khanda, chapter 17, and the texts are from 32 to 37. So about 5 to 6 verses. So Madhya khanda, chapter 17, text 32 onwards. सेमत राढ़ दिल गुचाई द्वार पाछे धाय नित्यानंद हरिदास तार. The Lord suddenly opened the door and ran out, and Nityananda and Haridas ran after him. The phrase Radha Dila means ran or rushed away. X33. प्रेम शून्य शरीर छुइया की बकाज चिंतिया पडिला प्रभु जानवीर माज. Thinking that there was no use in keeping a body devoid of love of God, the Lord jumped into the Ganges. झाप दिया ठाकुर पडिला गंगा माझे नित्यानंद हरिदास झाप दिल पाछे. As the Lord jumped into the Ganges, Nityananda and Haridas jumped in behind him. So all three madmen are inside the water. All three ecstatic people are inside the Ganges. Hmm? अथे व्यथे नित्यानंद धरिले ना केशे शरणाच्या पिया धरे प्रभु हरिदासे. Nityananda quickly caught the Lord by his hair, and Haridas grabbed the Lord's lotus feet. Text 36. दुई जने धरिया तू लीला लाया तीरे प्रभु बले तुम्हारवा धारिला किशेरे. The two then carried the Lord out of the water, whereupon the Lord said, why did you restrain me? Text 37 and the last verse. की कार्य राखिब प्रेम रहित जीवन किसे रव तुम्हारा धरिले दुई जान. For what purpose should I maintain this life which is devoid of love of God? Why did you two hold me back? Purport by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 2, text 45, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaks the following words. My dear friends, I have not the slightest tinge of love of Godhead within my heart. When you see me crying in separation, I am just falsely exhibiting a demonstration of my great fortune. Indeed, not seeing the beautiful face of Krishna playing his flute, I continue to live my life like an insect without purpose. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai. Hare Krishna. So in this section, we find your devotees that how Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is completely intoxicated and is running his way to jump into the Ganges, and he does jump into the Ganges. And it's Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, the two preaching partners. Nita and Haridas were always together as preaching partners, and oftentimes they themselves would have a transcendental fight amongst themselves because Nityananda would go house to house and he would knock the door, and some places they would welcome them with both their arms, but in some places the owner would pelt stones, and Nityananda Prabhu, being Balaram, would run his way out. But Haridas Thakur was very lean and very thin because of his austerity and bhajan. So Nitai would run in great speed, but our Haridas would have a tough time. So Haridas would uh, vent his anger out at Nitai that you knocked the door, you tried to preach to them, but when they're pelting stones, that time you don't remember me. You remember me for preaching, but when they pelt stones, you don't remember me. So the two preaching partners of Haridas Thakur on one side and Sri Nityananda Prabhu on another side are jumping into the Ganges to remove Chaitanya Mahaprabhu outside of the water by grabbing his hair and trying to pull him out. And Mahaprabhu is still not very happy. Because we see Mahaprabhu saying, why did you restrain me? Why did you get me out? Because my body has no love of Godhead. It has no prema. Who is saying? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That itself is a very astonishing thing. If Mahaprabhu is saying he has no love of Godhead, then it's a very far-fetched reality for any one of us to achieve it. But we find that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu demonstrated this transcendental madness in multiple phases of his life. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kaviraj Goswami explains when Mahaprabhu was there in Jagannath Puri, Ratri Dine Rasa Gita Shloka Aswadane, that when Mahaprabhu was there in Jagannath Puri day and night, Rasa Gita Shloka Aswadane, he would taste different verses, different compositions. Rasa Gita, here Gita primarily refers to Gita Govinda. So Mahaprabhu would listen to Gita Govinda of Jayadev Goswami. He would listen to Ramananda Rai's Jagannath Vallabh Natak. He would listen to Bilvamangala Thakur's Krishna Karanamrita. He would listen to Srimad Bhagavatam. He would listen to these different scriptures, and Mahaprabhu would be transcendently ecstatic. Why? Because the speaker would be either Swarup Damodar Goswami or Ramananda Rai. So the speaker is either Lalita or Vishakha, and the person experiencing is Srimati Radharani, and the land is Jagannath Puri. Doesn't get any better. It's a transcendental combination. And as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would be absorbed in hearing this, Mahaprabhu would also give instructions to Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai. And in one occasion, Mahaprabhu, as he was hearing this, Mahaprabhu, with a broad smile like Jagannath, he looks at Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai and says, Harshe Prabhu kahena Shuno Swarupa Ram Rai Nama Sankirtana Kalau Parama Upai. That, my dear Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai, please hear this. Harshe Prabhu kahena. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was smiling like Jagannath because he is actually not different from Jagannath. He is the same person. He was smiling like Jagannath, and in happiness, he tells them, Nam Sankirtana Kalau Parama Upai. That, my dear Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai, in Kali Yuga, the ultimate form of happiness, the ultimate form of enlightenment is Nam Sankirtan. When one does Nam Sankirtan, the byproduct is Krishna Prema. So, what we are seeing in the form of Mahaprabhu experiencing Prema, if we backtrack, then Mahaprabhu himself says the way to obtain that Prema, it goes through Sri Harinam Sankirtan or chanting of the names of Krishna. And Mahaprabhu mentions this in the Antilil and different conversations. In another place, Mahaprabhu very beautifully he says, Krishna Premodgama Premamrita Aswadan Krishna Prapti Sevamrita Samudra Bhajan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that this Krishna Prem Prapti that is there, how can it be done? This Krishna Prem Prapti can be done by taking shelter of Krishna Nam. By Krishna Nam Prapti, there is Krishna Prem Prapti. भगवान नाम को प्राप्त करने के तत्पश्चात भगवत प्रेम उद्गमन होता है. So very beautifully here it says Krishna Prema Udgama. Like we say Krishna Utkirtana, Utkirtana. Like similarly Krishna Prema Udgama. This Krishna Prema Udgama, it rises in the heart. How? Premamrita Aswadana. It rises in the heart and the person is able to taste Premamrita, the nectar of Krishna Prema. But how does this even happen? It happens by Krishna Nam. Krishna Papti Sevamrita Samudra Majjana. By taking shelter of Krishna Nam, one gets Krishna Prem Prapti and Samudra Majjana. He swims in this ocean of love of Godhead. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu realistically is swimming in Ganga. Realistically has jumped inside and he's swimming. But here in this sense, it means one swims in the ocean of love of Godhead. Like in Tulsi Arti, we sing, Sri Radha Govinda Preme Sada Jeno Bhase. Shri Radha Govinda Preme Sada Jeno Bhasi. Shri Radha Govinda Preme Sada Jeno Bhasi. That may we always bhasi, may we always swim. Where? In Sri Radha Govinda Prem, in this beautiful ocean of love of Radha and Govinda. And this love of God, this prema bhakti, is the aim of human life. Attaining this is the aim of human existence. We see Srinath Chakravarti also says the same thing in Chaitanya Mathamanjusha. Aradhya Bhagavan Brajesha Tanayas Tad Dham Vrindavanam Ramya Kajit Upasanam Brajabadhum Varghena Ya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam Tatradhara Napara. In the different things to be obtained, Srinath Chakravarti explains that the ideal that we hold high in life or the purpose of human existence is to attain prema, love of God. Mahaprabhu, in another occasion, Chaitanya Charitamrita, he makes his famous, he quotes his famous words that Srila Guru Govinda Maharaj popularized and Srila Guru Govinda Maharaj quoted very often. hmm, That without Krishna prema, vyartha daridra jivan, dasa kori vetan more deo premadan. That, my dear Lord, without Krishna prema, Krishna prema vina vyartha daridra jivan. That, my dear Lord, without this Krishna prema, vina vyartha daridra jivan, my life is hopeless and my life is useless. Dasa kori vetan more deho prema dhan. My dear Lord, I have realized that without prema bhakti, my life is useless. For this reason, I am begging you. What is the prayer? Dasa Kori. Accept me as your servant. Vetan more and give me salary. Because if you're working for someone, you need salary. So the Lord very beautifully here is explaining through the mood of a devotee. That, my dear Lord, accept me as your servant. Dasa Kori and Vetan more. Vetan means salary. Give me a salary. But what is the salary? Not the salary of dollars. Not the salary of rupees. Not that salary. Hmm. Vetan more deho premadhan. My dear Lord, accept me as a servant and give me the salary of premadhan, the love unto the Supreme Lord. Prema bhakti. Give me that wealth, my dear Lord. I don't want any other wealth. Hmm. So, time and again, this point has been brought up about how important prema bhakti is and how important it is to cultivate this path of prema bhakti. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains that cultivating this prema bhakti goes through the path of accepting and taking shelter of Sri Harinam, Sri Nama Sankirtan. We're talking about Prema Bhakti. How can we forget Srimati Radharani? If there is someone who is the epitome of Prema Bhakti, it has to be Srimati Radharani. What Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here is also experiencing is nothing but what Radharani experiences because Mahaprabhu is in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So, this mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he's experiencing is coming straight down from the heart of Radharani. And Radharani experiences prema like no one else. Srimati Radharani, even when she has to glorify Krishna, she uses satire, she uses sarcasm. Through her sarcasm, she glorifies Krishna, and through that sarcasm, she also demonstrates the prema bhakti of her heart. Like, for example, when Krishna left Vrindavan and went to Mathura, and at that time, we find Uddhava comes to Vrindavan, and there is this conversation with the bee called as the Brahmar Geet. And Radharani is talking to the bee, he's talking to the bee, but at the same time, there is some instructions indirectly also given to Uddhava. And Uddhava has an experience for lifetime. And in that state, very beautifully at one point, Srimati Radharani uses sarcasm to glorify Krishna. And we'll see how it has, how her speech also has prema bhakti in it. Mm. So when Krishna has left Vrindavan and gone to Mathura, Srimati Radharani says, Divi bhuvi cha rasayam काश्रियस्तदुरापा कपट रुचि रहास भ्रू विजिम्बसयाशु शरणरज उपासते यस्य भूतिर्वयं का अपि च कृपण पक्षे य उत्तम श्लोक शब्द श्रीमती राधारानी says दिवि भुवि च रसायन काश्रियस्तधुरापा that oh, who is that kind of person that Krishna will not obtain? Divi Bhuvi in the upper planet and in Bhuvi in earth planet. Kashriyasta Durapa. Who is that lady who will not be attracted to Krishna? Why? Because Krishna is very beautiful. But in the second line, Radharani says, Kapata Ruchi Rahasa. Why will anyone get attracted? Because he has a smile. Hasa. But what kind of smile? Not normal smile. Kapata. He has a very kapti. He has a very kapti smile. Yes, there are some things in Sanskrit and Hindi which don't have an equivalence to English. It's very difficult to translate. How do you translate kapti? There may be words, but for someone who follows Hindi, you understand it has its own flavor. Hmm? Krishna is kapata ruchi rahasa. He smiles, he's very kapti, but Radharani says that is also ruchiram. That is also very tasty. Hmm? And Dhruv Vijayambasa Yashru, that Krishna is such a person. He not just smiles, kapti, but Dhruv Vijayambasa, he just moves his eyebrows. It's almost like Radharani says, Krishna's eyebrows are like a bow and his vision are like the arrows. So when Krishna looks at someone, it's almost as if, like Arjuna, Krishna is loading his arrow into the bow and shooting at someone. And when Krishna does that through his vision, that person gets enamored by Krishna's beauty. So Radharani says, who is that lady who will not be attracted to Krishna? Why? Because kapata ruchi rahas, and he smiles, but he's very kapti and he's very crooked. At the same time, Dhruv Vijayambasa, he keeps moving his eyebrows whenever he wants. Kala Desha Patra, time, place, circumstance, he moves his eyebrows. And just by looking at his eyebrows, people are enamored. He doesn't even have to speak anything. Charana Raja Upasate Yasya Bhutir Vayamka. And Radharani says, what to speak of normal ladies? Even goddess of fortune is getting enamored by him. Hmm? Even Lakshmi ji is getting enamored by him. What to speak of myself? Apicha Kripana Pakshe. But I am Kripana. Why will Krishna come to me? When he can go to the heavenly damsels and he can go to all these personalities who are more qualified than me, why will he come to me? हमारे में ऐसी कौन सी गुण है? What quality do I have? Now it's sarcasm. Radharani is the origin of all the Lakshmis. But still, Radharani says, what quality do I have? Why will he come to me? He will not come to me. He will go to someone else. Ya uttama shloka shabda. I will take shelter of Krishna's naam. Uttam shloka. I will take shelter of Krishna's holy name. And by that means, maybe I can associate with him because he will not come to me. So it's the highest form of sarcasm that Radharani uses. And through sarcasm, Srimati Radharani is glorifying Krishna, while at the same time, the level of her prema bhakti is demonstrated. Mhm. And Radharani does that on multiple levels. And another time, Radharani went to Krishna and said, Krishna, you lifted Govardhan, and everyone called you Govardhan Dhari. Everyone calls you Giri Dhari. But that Govardhan is, it was very small mountain. People are just exaggerating it. Krishna said, no, didn't you see it was such a big mountain? All the Brajbasis could come underneath it. Radharani said, no, no, it was a very small mountain. You are just, everyone is just exaggerating you, giving you big name, Giridhari, Govardhandhari. It was not such a big mountain. Hmm. Rather than he says it was like a small mushroom. Krida Kandukatam Yena Nito Govardhana Giri. It was like a small toy, small mushroom he uprooted. And everyone is exaggerating so much, giving you so much name, fame, calling you Govardhandhari. It is not like this. Krishna says, no, look, it was so big. Rather than he says, I have a question. Ravana lifted Kailash. Do we call him Kailashadhari? Did he get a name Kailashadhari? Krishna says, no. Then Radharani says, why you have got the name Govardhan Hari? Srimati Radharani is tricking Krishna and Krishna has no answer. Why are you given such special attention? Hmm? And then Srimati Radharani says, Krishna, if you are called Govardhan Dhari, then I should be called Govardhan Dhari Dharini because I have held you in my heart. I have held that Krishna was lifted Govardhan, so I should be called Govardhan Dhari Dharini. And Krishna says, that's true. Radharani should be called Govardhan Dhari Dharini, and that's one name of Radharani. So Srimati Radharani, through her speech, through indirect speech, uses sarcasm, but that sarcasm is also to glorify Krishna. And through the glorification, there is demonstration of her prema bhakti. Hmm. But the point that we see in Brahmar Geet that Srimati Radharani is mentioning is as to how when someone is dipped in prema bhakti, they take complete shelter of Nam and vice versa. By taking complete shelter of Nam, one can be dipped in prema bhakti. So it goes both ways. And even Radharani, who's so much dipped in prema bhakti, even she takes complete shelter of Nam. Hmm. So without Nam, there's no other alternative. Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains, hmm, Namashray kori jatane tumi. That he says, Nam ashray tumi jatane kori. That my dear devotees, Nam ashray. Please take shelter of Nam. Jatane tumi. Take this as the firm oath. In other place, he says, there is nothing to be had in all the three worlds. नाम के अतिरिक्त और कुछ भी नहीं है. There is nothing to be obtained and there is nothing more to be had apart from Sri Nam. And we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who is experiencing this mood of jumping into the Ganges in love of Godhead. And it's not the first time he has done it. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we find Mahaprabhu does a very similar thing. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was there in Jagannath Puri, at one point Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sees the ocean. And seeing the ocean, Mahaprabhu remembers Yamuna. So Mahaprabhu was so ecstatic like Radharani. Whatever, wherever he would see, he would remember Vrindavan. He would see the Chatak Parvat, he would remember Govardhan. He would see the trees, he would remember the Kalpa Vriksha. He would see the sea, he would remember Jamuna. Whatever he would see, he would remember the land of Sri Vrindavan Dham. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, on such occasion, seeing the sea in Jagannath Puri, or seeing the ocean of Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ran inside the ocean like a mad person, completely ran inside. Why? Because through his eyes he was seeing Krishna. Through his eyes he was seeing the Jala Krida, Salila Vihar, the water pastimes of Radha and Krishna. And Mahaprabhu wanted to be a part of that. Mhm. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ran inside. And on another side, we have Swarup Damodar Goswami and others who are searching for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu Kothai, Mahaprabhu Kothai. Where did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu go? He just left us. Where did he go? And they were searching in different places. Some went to the Gundicha temple, some went to Narendra Sarovar, some went somewhere else. And no one could find Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Finally, Swarup Damodar Goswami came to the ocean side. And when he came there, he saw a fisherman. And this fisherman had a net around his shoulder. And he was walking and he was laughing, he was crying. He had all the different symptoms all at one go. And Swarup Damodar Goswami looked at him and said, what happened? Why are you laughing? Why are you crying? And why is your behavior very odd? What happened? And this fisherman, he said, oh, today I went to catch a fish, but I didn't catch fish or fishes. I caught a big fish. And I have caught this big fish in my net. And that's why I'm really happy. Swarup Damodar Goswami said, what do you mean big fish? And as Swarup Damodar Goswami looked at the net, it was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had run into the ocean, this fisherman had gone at the same time for catching fish. And he caught the biggest fish. That is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why? Because Mahaprabhu is the fish. Hmm. Keshavadrita Meena Sharira. He's the big fish. He's Matsya Dev, so he caught the biggest fish. And when he caught, Mahaprabhu was unconscious. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was completely unconscious. So he thought that this is a dead body, this is a corpse, and he put Mahaprabhu inside the net and he got him out to the shore. And when Swarup Damodar Goswami saw everything, Damodar Goswami slaps the fisherman and says, "Hey, what are you saying? He's not a fish. He's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's Bhagavan. He's Supreme Lord himself." And Swarup Damodar Goswami, he takes Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu out of the net and removes the sand all over his body. But interestingly, because this fisherman came in contact with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his tongue was naturally vibrating Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Because Mahaprabhu is always chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hmm? Sajati Ashare Snigde Sadhu Sanga Smatovare. Rupa Goswami says that one should associate with like-minded people. And here the fisherman associated with the best among people, Uttama, uh, Uttam Purush. He associated with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And now his tongue was also vibrating Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And it was almost as if a ghost had entered inside him. So when the fisherman saw Swarup Damodar Goswami, actually the fisherman tells Swarup Damodar Goswami, I was going to the person who removes ghost from the body because I don't know what ghost has entered. I caught this big fish and I don't know what ghost has entered inside me. That I'm constantly chanting, my eyes are moist, I am laughing, I'm hair is standing on end, my skin is going pale, my teeth is chattering. I don't know what has happened to me. Some ghost has entered. The ghost called Sachidanand Gauranga Mahaprabhu has entered inside his body. And Swarup Damodar Goswami, after the slap that he gave him, he just transparently slaps him. Like we see Srila Gauragovinda Maharaj. Sometimes in the morning walks of Gauragovinda Maharaj, when the disciples would ask a question, Srila Gauragovinda Maharaj would very lovingly would slap them. Very lovingly, he would slap his own disciple and say, "Hey, Baba, you don't even know this much." He would slap them. And the disciples would love it. They would they would see the loving fatherly figure of Srila Guru Govinda Maharaj and they would be very happy. So Swarup Damodar Goswami slapped the fisherman. And after that slap, the fisherman came back to his consciousness, understanding that the personality whom he caught in the net was none other than Supreme Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So when Swarup Damodar Goswami chanted the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in the ear of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu came back to consciousness and he looked at Swarup Damodar Goswami and said, "Where am I? Why did you bring me here?" And Swarup Damodar Goswami said, "My dear Lord, you were always here." Mahaprabhu said, "No, no, no, I was in Vrindavan. I saw Krishna. I was there with Srimati Radharani. I was there with the Braja Gopis. We were there on the bank of Jamuna. Why did you bring me here?" Swarup Damodar Goswami said, "No, my dear Lord, you were always here. You were in, this is Jagannath Puri. Through your bhav, through your emotions, you went to the land of Sri Vrindavan Dham. But my dear Lord, you were always here." And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains that I saw the sea and I remembered Yamuna and I started seeing the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. And as I saw these pastimes, there was another gopi who held my hand and was taking me towards Radha and Krishna and telling me how Krishna is playing the flute, how Krishna is under the Kadamba tree, and how Krishna is there now on the boat with Srimati Radharani. She was explaining different pastimes, and as I was immersed in those pastimes, Swarup Damodar, you got me back here. Why? And Mahaprabhu was angry at Swarup Damodar Goswami. Our Acharya is very beautifully explained. Ami Jamuna Puline, Kodamba Kanane, Kiherinu Sakhiyar, Amar Shama Vamshi Dhari, Mani Mancha Pari, Kore Lila Rasaraja. Ami Jamuna Puline Kadamba Kanane Kiheri no Sakhi Aja. One Sakhi is talking to another Sakhi. That, my dear Sakhi, do you know what I saw today? I saw on the bank of Jamuna three bent form of Shyamasundar Shri Krishna. And what was he doing? He was beautifully playing his flute. Amar Shama Vamshi Dhari. He was Vamshi Dhari. He was holding the flute. Mani Mancha Pori Kare Lila Rasaraja. And Rasaraj Sri Krishna was beautifully performing his pastimes at the bank of Yamuna in the land of Vrindavan, playing his flute. Swarup Damodar, I was seeing those pastimes. Why did you get me back here? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so absorbed in the land of Vrindavan, and it's not the first time. When he saw Chatak Parvat, he was reminded of Govardhan. When Mahaprabhu saw Chatak Parvat, Mahaprabhu ran towards Chatak Parvat to embrace the Chatak Parvat. And devotees had to restrain him, my dear Lord, control. This is not Govardhan, this is Chatak Parvat. So wherever Mahaprabhu would see, he was just reminded of Sri Vrindavan Dham. And we find Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even when he was small, he demonstrated this transcendental ecstatic madness. At one point, Nimai was sitting on the street of Nadia when he was small. This was just after his Diksha. And as he was sitting on the seat on the street, he was crying out to Krishna. Ha ha Krishna, tumi gela kathi. Ha ha Krishna, tumi gela kathi. My dear Krishna, where did you go? Why did you leave me, Krishna? Ha ha Padma Lochana. That my dear Krishna, you're Padma Lochana, you're lotus eyed. Ha ha Rasa Vilasera Nagara. Ha ha Rasa Vilasera Nagara. My dear Krishna, Rasa Vilasera Nagara. He who is the hero of the Rasa dance. My dear Krishna, where did you go? And as Nimai was crying, sitting on the middle of the street, Gadadhar Pandit came there. And Gadadhar said, Nimai, what are you doing? And Nimai said, I am looking for Krishna. My eyes are yearning to see Krishna. I have wasted so much amount of time, but now I want to see Krishna. I want to be with Krishna. Gadadhar, can you tell me where Krishna is? And Gadadhar says, oh, Krishna is there in your heart, Nimai. You just look into your heart and Krishna is there. And when Nimai hears this, Nimai in the mood of Hanuman, he starts ripping his chest apart with a small, tiny baby-like nails. Nimai starts ripping his chest apart, trying to see where is Krishna. And Gadadhar, when he sees this, he says, my dear Lord, control. When the time will come, Krishna will reveal himself in front of you. So we see this parallel that it's not just after Mahaprabhu went to Jagannath Puri that his eyes were yearning to see Krishna and he was jumping into the Ganges on one side or Yamuna on another side. In Chaitanya Bhagavat, it is Ganges. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, he sees the ocean as Yamuna. But it's not just after his sannyas Leela. It's even after his just after his Diksha also we find in Nadia, Mahaprabhu started demonstrating this unique transcendental symptom of yearning to see Krishna, desiring to see Krishna, and actually seeing Krishna at all times, at all places, at all circumstances. Mhm. Where is this quality coming from? It is coming from Srimati Radharani. Because Mahaprabhu has taken the mood of Srimati Radharani. Mhm. Srimati Radharani, her eyes are called Chala Apanga. One quality of the 25 qualities of Srimati Radharani is Chala Apanga, which means her eyes are restless. One commentator writes that Radharani's eyes are so restless that they don't even ask the instruction of Radharani. They're independent of Radharani. They are helplessly attracted to the form of Krishna and they themselves look at the form of Krishna without Radharani knowing. Normally, the servant takes the instruction of the master. But here the eyes are so independent, Chala Apanga, that they don't even seek sanction. They don't even ask Srimati Radharani. They are naturally, helplessly attracted to the form of Krishna. So sometimes Krishna comes to Radharani and says, oh, Radhe, why are you looking at me? And Radharani says, no, I'm not looking at you. Krishna says, no, I saw you were looking at me. And Radharani doesn't even know that her eyes have, without her permission, they have naturally gone to look at Krishna. They're chala apanga, very, very restless. Hmm. Another commentator, he writes, the eyes of Radharani are like a doe shaped, beautiful, like lotus shaped or doe shaped. beautiful eyes, and they're naturally hunting to see the form of Krishna. And that's what we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also doing here. His eyes are hunting to see the form of Krishna. Actually, very beautifully, it's at one place it's written that when Krishna left the land of Sri Vrindavan Dham, Radharani goes to Lalita Sakhi and says, "Oh Lalite, now that Krishna has left the land of Sri Vrindavan Dham, can you give me poison? Because I don't want to live. If Krishna is not there in Vrindavan, why should I live? Can you please give me poison so that I can die?" Lalita Sakhi says, "Oh Radhe, poison will not work in your body." And Radharani says, "Why? If it works in everyone, why not on me? Why will the poison not work?" Lalita Sakhi says, "It is for the reason that you have taken so much nectar. There is an overdose of nectar in your body, so even if you take poison, it will not work." Radharani says, "What do you mean, overdose of nectar?" Lalita Sakhi says, "Look, your eyes are always looking at Krishna. Through your ears, you're listening to the flute sound of Krishna. Through your nose, you're smelling the tulsi manjaris offered to the lotus feet of Krishna. Through your mouth, you're tasting the betel nut that Krishna has accepted. Through your hands and legs, serving different you're serving Krishna in different ways by making garlands and so many other things. So, oh Radhe, because all your senses are constantly absorbed in thinking and remembering and serving Krishna, there is an overdose of nectar. So even if you take poison, it will not work. You will not die." So Radharani says, "Oh, this is very strange." And then she says, "My dear Lalite, the day when I leave this world, I have a request. You don't put me in Yamuna. Don't give me Jala Samadhi. Whenever, whichever day I leave, don't give me Jala Samadhi. Don't put me in Yamuna." Lalita Sakhi says, "Why?" Radharani says, "Because I'm already crying so much in Krishna Viraha, in the separation of Krishna, that I'm already in Jala Samadhi. So if someone is already in Jala Samadhi, what will you get by again putting the person in Jala Samadhi? Don't give me Jala Samadhi. And oh Lalite, don't even burn my body." Lalita Sakhi says, "Why?" And Radharani says, "Because I'm already burning in my heart in separation from Krishna. I'm already burning so much in my heart by being separated from Krishna. What will you get by again burning my body? Please don't even do that." So Lalita Sakhi says, "Oh Radhe, what should I do?" Radharani says, "After I leave this world, you put my body on the branch of a tamal tree. So I will at least feel, because the tamal tree represents Krishna, right? It has the complexion of Krishna. So Radharani says, if you keep my body on a tamal tree, I will at least feel that Shyamasundar Shri Krishna is embracing me, even after I leave this world. So put me on the branch of a tamal tree." So Lalita Sakhi says, "Oh Radhe, this is very risky." Why? Because if I put you on the branch of a tamal tree, there are so many birds here and there. They may just bite your body, right? There are so many crows and so many other birds are there. They may just bite your body. So Radharani says, "Oh, is it true? So you can do one thing. You put my body on the branch of a tamal tree, and even if the crows come and they bite different parts of my body, please tell the crows to not bite my eyes. Let they spare my eyes. Let my eyes not be affected." Lalita Sakhi says, "Why? Why would you say that?" And Radharani says, "If Krishna comes back, even if my whole body is chewed away by these birds, at least my eyes will be there to look at him. These eyes are anyway independent. They're chala apanga. They anyway don't ask for my instructions. So when Krishna, the day he comes back, even if my body is not there, at least my eyes will look at Krishna, and that will give happiness to the heart of Krishna. So, oh Lalita, I have a desire that you don't give me Jala Samadhi, don't even burn my body, put my body on the branch of a tamal tree, and even if the birds chew my body away, at least my eyes will be there. Because these eyes don't ask my instructions and they're independent. They are swarat. They don't ask my instructions. They're chala apanga. Hmm? So very beautifully we find that how even Srimati Radharani, her eyes were always yearning to see Krishna. And that is the same mood we find in even in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. always eager and desirous of seeing Krishna at all times. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is taken out from this ocean, whether the Ganga or the Jamuna, when he's taken out from this ocean, it is very beautifully explained. Mahaprabhu's body was very fragrant. Even though it was covered from sand head to toe, his body was very fragrant. Hmm. And Srimati Radharani's body is like this, very fragrant. And so is Krishna's body, very, very fragrant. At one place, it's explained that Srimati Radharani, her arms are as fragrant as different flowers. Hmm. Her hair is fragrant like kasturi. And it's a big description. Her navel is as fragrant as this, and her eyes are as fragrant as this. Her ears are as fragrant as this, etc. Hmm. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's not different from Radha and Krishna, his body was very, very fragrant. Once Mahaprabhu, when he was there in Jagannath Puri, Mahaprabhu could smell the fragrance of Krishna's lotus feet. The tulsi manjaris and the flowers offered to Krishna's lotus feet. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could smell the fragrance, and Mahaprabhu all night was walking here and there to smell the fragrance of the flowers and tulsi manjaris that are offered to the lotus feet of Krishna. And all night Mahaprabhu was roaming here and there. Just like you find, you have a musk deer. The musk deer, from the body of the musk deer, is a beautiful musk fragrance that emanates. That's what we find around also. We have perfumes, musk flavor. And this musk deer is such that it goes all around. It gets the fragrance and all around it keeps searching, not realizing that that fragrance is coming from its own body. So similarly, Mahaprabhu is like the transcendental musk deer who is walking here and there all night in Jagannath Puri, trying to understand where is this fragrance coming from, not realizing that it is the fragrance from his own body. So the fragrance, my Guru Maharaj was explaining this. The fragrance of the body of Krishna maddens and intoxicates Krishna himself. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Radha and Krishna. So the fragrance from his own body is maddening and intoxicating him. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was taken out from this ocean, his body was very, very fragrant. And we see this commonality of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and some other associates of Mahaprabhu also as to how they were constantly eager to see the form of Supreme Lord, or as to how they were constantly having darshan of the Supreme Lord. We spoke about the hungry eyes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he's seeing the pastimes. We spoke about the eyes of Radharani Chala Apanga, how they're restless to see Krishna. How about Prahlad Maharaj? Moving away from Vrindavan, when we see Prahlad Maharaj also had the same mood as to how his eyes were anointed with love. Preman Jana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. How his eyes were anointed with love, and constantly he was seeing Krishna at so many instances. Even when he was put in a bed of snakes, when he was put in a pit of snakes, which was also like a bed of snakes, Prahlad Maharaj was so convinced that the Supreme Lord is present here. Why? Because he looked at that situation, and Prahlad Maharaj said that, well, these snakes are the bed of my father. My father is Vishnu, and my father sleeps on the bed of snakes, Ananta. So these snakes are the bed of my father. So why will the child be afraid of the bed of his own father? And Hiranyakashipu was amazed as to how Prahlad could see Krishna in an instance where any normal person would be completely devoured by the situation. Lad was just 5. Even when he saw snakes, he was able to remember Krishna. When he was put in fire, Prahlad Maharaj at that instance also, he says, well, this fire, it is the mouth of my father. Why? Because we see we do yagyas. And that yagya is considered the mouth. The ahuti that we put is considered the yagya kund, is considered the mouth of the Supreme Lord or Vishnu. So Prahlad Maharaj says, well, this fire that is there, this is also the mouth of my father. So what is there to be afraid of? When he was given poison, Prahlad Maharaj says, well, this poison is my uncle. Hiranyakashipu is amazed. How is poison uncle? And Prahlad Maharaj says, well, During the Samudra Manthan pastime, the first thing that came out was vish, poison, halahal vish. But from that same Samudra Manthan, Lakshmi ji also appeared, which means the origin for Lakshmi ji and poison is one and the same. And Lakshmi is the mother of Prahlad Maharaj. So Prahlad Maharaj says, well, my mother is Lakshmi. And from that same origin, poison is also coming, which means poison becomes the brother of my mother, that is Lakshmi, which means poison becomes my uncle. And who gets afraid of his own uncle? And Hiranyakashipu is thinking, my goodness, what Krishna consciousness is this? He is able to see Krishna even when I am giving him poison. Hmm. The mood of a sadhu, the mood of a devotee is he is able to see Krishna at all times. He is conscious of Krishna at all times. Hmm. This is real Krishna consciousness. So just like we find how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is seeing Krishna, Radharani is seeing Krishna, Prahlad Maharaj, his eyes are yearning to see Krishna. While at the same time, here we have Prahlad Maharaj, who in three different instances is able to see the form of Krishna. Mahaprabhu had one more associate by the name Mukunda, and Mukunda was a physician by profession. But even though he was a physician by profession, he was working for the Nawab, he was working for the king. And at one point, very beautifully, it's explained as to how this king was fanned by his ministers, by his servants. And as the king was being fanned by his servants, they used a peacock feather to fan the king. And as Mukunda, the dear associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as he saw the peacock feather that was being used to fan the king, who was a Nawab, just by seeing the peacock feather, Mukunda was so maddened in Krishna consciousness that he fell down to the ground and started foaming. Just seeing the peacock feather. Why? Because seeing the peacock feather, he was reminded of Krishna. He could remember Krishna just seeing the peacock feather. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could remember Yamuna and Krishna's pastime just by looking at the ocean. And just like Prahlad, who could remember Krishna in poison, in fire, in snakes. It's a classic demonstration, dear devotees, as to how the world around is not a problem. The vision needs to be changed. Like in Hindi, they say, bas nazariye ki hai baat. The vision needs to be aligned, the vision needs to be changed. Because these are personalities who, in the most difficult situations, could remember Krishna. How about Kunti Maharani? The problems that she faced, the challenges and the obstacles that she faced. In spite of all this, she says, my dear Lord, please give me more and more problems because in every problem I am able to remember you. Hmm? So the symptom of a devotee is how much ever, whatever he sees around, he doesn't crib, but he uses that as a stimulant for his Krishna consciousness. He uses that as a stimulant to remember Krishna. It can be an ocean, it can be fire, it can be poison, it can be snakes, it can be a peacock feather, it can be anything. Hmm? So it also teaches by example as to how whatever we see, one should learn the art of aligning their eyes so that they start seeing Krishna at all times. And here was Mukunda just seeing peacock feather, falls down to the ground and starts foaming. And finally, when he comes back to consciousness, the Nawab looks at him and says, what happened? Why did he just fall down to the ground? You're a doctor. What happened to the doctor became a patient that day? What happened? And Mukunda says, oh no, I have this problem of epilepsy. It keeps happening again and again. Nothing to worry. Just keeps coming back again and again. But was it really epilepsy? No. He was completely ecstatic just seeing the peacock feather that was used to fan the king, who was the Nawab. Hmm. So many examples of personalities we find, how they're reminded of Krishna. Hmm. Even though Krishna is not physically present in front of them, just through instances and circumstances, they use it as a stimulant for their bhakti. for them to remember Krishna. But realistically, dear devotees, if we see our situation, we're not like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we're not like Radharani, we're not like Prahlad, we're not like Mukunda. Realistically, we find it difficult to remember Krishna. Even when we see situation around, we see circumstances around, we see objects around, we find it difficult to remember Krishna. Our situation is more like Maharaj Prataparudra. Maharaj Prataparudra was having a full-time job, was a government official, was the king, and was yearning to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. His eyes were yearning to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but Mahaprabhu was not ready to give darshan. This is our situation. We are also working in this world. We also have 9 to 5 jobs. He had a family. We also have a family. Our eyes are yearning to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Due to whatever reason, Mahaprabhu is not giving darshan. And likewise for Maharaj Prataparudra also. His eyes were yearning to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but Mahaprabhu was not giving darshan. But Maharaj Prataparudra was persistent. Hmm. He worked his way. Hmm. यदि से महाप्रभु न पाए कृपा धन कि ब राज्य कि ब देह सब अकारण. Maharaj Prataparudra tells Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya that yadi say Mahaprabhu na paye kripadhan. If Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not going to give his mercy to me, Kiba Rajya, what's the use of the kingdom? Kiba Deha, what's the use of this body? Saba Akaran. Everything is useless if Mahaprabhu is not going to give darshan. And in one way, it holds true for us also because we are engaged in so many other activities. But if Mahaprabhu is not going to shower his mercy, he's not going to shower his kripa, then our purpose, our existence is futile. So the aim of human existence that we started with is prema bhakti, love and devotion unto the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And but for that, Mahaprabhu also has to look at us. For Maharaj Prataparudra, he made Maharaj Prataparudra wait for such a long time. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya gave a recommendation. Mahaprabhu said no. Nityananda Prabhu gave a recommendation. Mahaprabhu said no. Finally, the devotees had to give a recommendation. Mahaprabhu said no. Then at the end, Ramananda Rai came to Mahaprabhu and said, my dear Lord, I have seen his sincerity. Even when I wanted to leave the kingdom to come and serve you, he readily agreed. And not just agreed, he gave me a salary hike, he gave me a pay hike so that I can come and serve you. My dear Lord, I have seen him personally. He is very sincere. Please give your darshan. When the recommendation came from Ramananda Rai and so many other associates, finally Mahaprabhu agreed. Finally, Mahaprabhu agreed, and Maharaj Prataparudra's life, we very beautifully see that he was patient. As a devotee, he was very patient. And while being patient, he desired for the mercy of the Lord through the Vaishnavas. This is our only hope. While being patient for the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we try to approach Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through his devotees, through the Vaishnavas. While at the same time, Maharaj Prataparudra had a second quality, wherein he was equal to everyone. He showered love and compassion to everyone, whether they were the seniors like Ramananda Rai, or even to juniors, or even to equals. Whoever came in front of him, Maharaj Prataparudra was very loving to all of them. So, as a Vaishnava, Maharaj Prataparudra teaches us the second quality. First, he was patient and he approached the Lord through the Vaishnavas. Second, Maharaj Prataparudra was very, very determined. As he was patient, approaching the Lord through the Vaishnavas, Maharaj Prataparudra was determined to shower equal love and affection to the seniors, to the juniors, and also to those who are equal. And finally, when Mahaprabhu agreed to see Maharaj Prataparudra through the recommendation of Ramananda Rai, Maharaj Prataparudra decided to extend his love for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It was through the service that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu finally embraced him. So our situation is pretty much like this. We want to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but we are not able to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are engaged in worldly activities. And even though we are getting recommendations, we are still haven't seen Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. like the way Maharaj Pratap Rudra had the desire to see. But we learn these three um, principles from his life, that he was patient and he approached the Lord through the Vaishnavas. He was equal to all the Vaishnavas. He was caring, loving to everyone, including Ramananda Rai, who was working under him, what was ready to allow him to go to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with a salary hike and a pay hike. And finally, he was ready to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the humble, menial mood of a servant. Even though he was the king, he was ready to go and massage the feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sees this humble attitude, when he sees that how he has been the recipient of the mercy of the Vaishnavas, and how he has been very, very kind and patient in this endeavor, how his eyes have always been yearning to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Finally, Mahaprabhu goes and embraces him. Hmm. When Maharaj Pratap is singing the Gopi Geet prayers, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraces him and asks him, "Who are you? And where were you all this while? Who are you?" And Maharaj Pratap at that time, he doesn't say, "I am the king." He doesn't say any of those things. In a very humble mood of the servant, Maharaj Pratap says, "Raja kahe, ami tumar daser anudas. Bhrityara bhritya karo ei mora ash." That, my dear Lord, I am the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. And this is my only desire. The next time you remember me, don't remember me as Maharaj Pratap Rudra. Just remember me as the servant of your servant of the servant of the servant. Kulashekar Alwar also prays the same thing. Hmm? Tatparicaraka Bhritya Bhritya Bhrityascha Bhritya iti mam Smaralokanata. Hmm. He says, my dear Lord, that the next time you have to remember me, don't remember me as your servant, but remember me as the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. King Kulashekar Alwar uses 7 times. Hmm. My dear Lord, please consider me your servant. So this is our situation like Maharaj Pratap Ruta. But we take inspiration from Prahlad Maharaj. We take inspiration from Mukunda. But realistically, we follow in the mood and the hankering and the desperation of Maharaj Pratap Rudra. Only with this hope and desire that one day the Supreme Lord will be able to shower His mercy on all of us, just like He did on Maharaj Pratap Rudra. Finally, to wrap up, we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is experiencing the mood of Vrindavan in this section by saying the Ganges, or in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he sees the ocean and remembers Yamuna, sees the Chatak Parvat, remembers Govardhan. All the time he's absorbed in Vrindavan consciousness. And this is the mood of the Gaudiyas, that wherever we are, as much as possible, we try to remember Shri Vrindavan Dham. Some of the devotees globally would have gone to Vrindavan this Kartik. Some would have gone to Mayapur this Kartik. Some would have gone to Jagannath Puri this Kartik. But for some of us, we are externally, at least physical location. We are not in Vrindavan, we are not in Mayapur, we are not in any of these places. We are in US, or some of us are in India, etc. But still being in these places, we can still remember Vrindavan. And one will get the same benefit as that of actually physically going to Vrindavan. And believe me or not, this is the ultimate good because this is free. We don't require flight tickets, we don't require any planning. We can just sit at one place, close our eyes, and start doing Vrindavan Parikrama. We can go to Radharaman, we can go to Gokulananda, we can go to Baki Bihari, we can go to Jamuna, we can go to Imlitala, we can go to so many places. We can come back to our Krishna Balram Mandir, and all of that is free. Sitting in one place. Sitting in America, one can get the benefit of Shri Vrindavan Dham. And primarily, this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing, even though he was in different locations. Even though he was in Jagannath Puri, his heart, his mind was completely absorbed in remembering Shri Vrindavan Dham. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was given an instruction by Srila Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj that uh, don't go to Calcutta. The instruction was given by Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj. Don't go to Calcutta. And after Srila Gaurkishore Babaji Maharaj departed this world, Saraswati Thakur, we see, spent a lot of time in Calcutta. So one disciple asked Saraswati Thakur that your Gurudev gave the instruction to not go to Calcutta, but I see you are in Calcutta. So how do I reconcile? Um, and Saraswati Thakur said, Calcutta? No, I'm not in Calcutta. When I'm there inside the mutt, Bagh Bazar Gaudiya Mutt, when I'm inside the mutt, there are Radha and Krishna deities, which means I'm in Vrindavan. When I sit in the car, I'm thinking about what next to write in the next magazine. Hmm? What next article to write? How can I glorify Krishna better? Which means I am again thinking about Krishna, which means I am again in Vrindavan. And at other times, I am either chanting the names of Krishna or doing some other activity which is engaged in preaching the message of Krishna, which is again Krishna Vrindavan. Which means even though externally I may be in Calcutta, because my activities are centered around Krishna of Vrindavan, preaching the message of the glories of Krishna of Vrindavan, I am still in the land of Sri Vrindavan Dham. So even in the life of Saraswati Thakur, we see as to how externally he may have not been in Vrindavan Dham. He was there in Calcutta, Bagh Bazar Gaudiya Mutt, which was like the headquarters of the Gaudiya Mutt. But still internally, he was cultivating this mood of Sri Vrindavan Dham and teaching by example. So where we are, where our location is secondary. If one can be in Vrindavan, that is absolute best. But realistically, due to different commitments, it's very difficult to be in Vrindavan or in Mayapur all the time, 365 days a year. But through heart, one can still be in Vrindavan Dham and one will get the same benefit as being physically there in the land of Sri Vrindavan Dham. Having said this, dear devotees, I very humbly want to stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Hare
Shachinandan Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Right. Thank you so much, Prabhu. What a beautiful, beautiful class. I thoroughly enjoyed this class so much. First of all, thank you so much for speaking about the vision of a pure devotee, giving us the example of how Srimati Radharani's vision is, and then about Mukunda, and then about comparing our situation with, our situation is nowhere close to theirs, but at least we have an example of King Prataparudra. So that was so nicely spoken, so nicely relatable, Prabhu. Very, very nice class. And one thing that you said is change the vision. We can't change the circumstances, but at least we can change the vision. So that is my takeaway. Thank you so much. Beautiful class. Yes.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Do you have time for questions?
Yes, Mataji, we can take.
Okay. So, Kakar Prabhu.
Can you just unmute my video? My video is muted. The host is muted.
Yes, Prabhu, we have asked you to start your video, and you say you will start it.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
So nice to see you and your brother. I see you both are like Krishna Balaram. The way you both give classes, ecstatic classes, Prabhu. And I wish you all the best after your marriage. I'm seeing for the first time in the class. So nice, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for your
உங்களை
blessings and
பார்த்தாலே
prayers.
ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு ரெண்டு பேரும் really not from this world. You're all pure devotees. You come only to liberate all the people.
I hope I also get liberated. I'm very far away from liberation at this point, but by your prayers and blessings, I can hope to be. I can hope to attain Krishna. Whatever we have spoken, I am far from any realization, but by the mercy of the Vaishnavas, I can hope to attain it someday.
I saw you as a small boy in your house when I came to your house. Your brother was doing puja in Saligram and you were just doing school boy. ரொம்ப ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம் and Radha Krishnan Mati Rastu Prabhu.
Thank you so much for the blessings,
Hare
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Bless me also, Prabhu, because I'm age-wise old, but your
I
Atma
am.
is higher.
It's like an ant wanting to touch the moon. It's not possible. Your blessings and your prayers um, are greatly appreciated, and thank you for always remembering both the brothers and speaking so lovingly and so affectionately, Prabhuji. Thank you so
Pray
much.
for me, pray for all of us, Prabhu, please. You
Hare
are a pure
Krishna.
devotee, but you are very chaliya. I'm not telling.
I am neither pure, but I am, yes, Achaliya. Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the beautiful, beautiful class talking about Radharani and Krishna's pastimes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu getting into mood of Lord Krishna and fisherman pastime. All those pastimes are so beautiful, especially when Radharani teases Krishna. Those pastimes are so beautiful, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Very grateful to you. You took us to Dhams. You took us to Vrindavan. You took us everywhere. You took us Mayapur because you said us pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. As you said, virtually, we are always there in the Dham by hearing Katha. By hearing your Katha today, we visited Vrindavan and Mayapur. Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Very grateful to you. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Anybody, any questions? Chat box. Please raise your hand if you have any question. There is one question. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. The devotees in Jagannath Puri, they do not follow all the rules and regulation, but at the end of the life, they will go back to Krishna.
So every place we find there are certain rules and regulations. Even in the land of Vrindavan Dham, we find that the rules and regulations that we follow, not necessarily the Brajavasis may follow all of that. But Srila Prabhupada time and again would say that we don't compare ourselves with the Brajavasis. They have done certain amount of piety because of which they are born in Vrindavan and we are not. We may be born in Mumbai and Kerala and whatever, whichever place, Madhya Pradesh or whatever, but they are born in the land of Shri Vrindavan Dham, which means they are born in the house of Krishna, which means they are like a family member of Krishna. So they have done certain amount of piety by which they are born in the Dham. They are already special. So we don't equate ourselves with the Dhamvasis. While at the same time, they have certain different kinds of rules that they follow. And yes, they will get Krishna with that also because there's a beautiful pastime of one of the South Indian Alvars. I think it was Ramanujacharya or one of the Alvars who came to Jagannath Puri. And he saw as to how in Jagannath Puri, the Pandas, they sit and eat with Jagannath. When they're like our offering is such, we do offering, ting, 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 we say all the mantras, then we remove the offering. We have to put tulsi and then we remove the offering, then we honor. That's our offering. But in Jagannath Puri, they keep one pot for Jagannath and one pot for themselves and both eat simultaneously. So when Ramanujacharya saw that, he was amazed. He said, hey, this is not vidhi. This is not how offering works. First you give to the Lord, you put tulsi, you chant mantras, there is some rules and regulations you follow. Then you take and then you distribute as prasad. So the Panda said yes. And that night when this Alvar slept in Jagannath Puri, the next day morning he got up in South India. The Supreme Lord at night, he ousted him out from the Dham and he came in the dream and said, the rules and regulations are good. You follow that in South India, not in Jagannath Puri. I am happy in Jagannath Puri the way they treat me because they treat me like a family member. They also eat, I also eat, both eat, sit together and we have. So don't follow your rule, don't bring your rules and regulations here. Let me be happy. So we find we leave the Puri Vasis the way they are practicing because there are examples of how even great personalities try to change the tradition and it did not succeed. So the Lord is happy, and if the Lord is happy, it doesn't. Um, there's no reason why we should be changing it. So will they get Krishna? Of course, they will get Krishna because Jagannath himself is coming in that field.
Very bold, very beautiful answer, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Any more questions? Any realizations? Yeah, there is chat box full. They are all glorifying Prabhuji. Your class is wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah. If there are no more questions, we can end the call here. I would like to offer my obeisances to you and all the Vaishnavas assembled on the call. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki
Jai.
jai. His Grace Arjun Sakha Prabhuji ki jai.
Jai
So
Ho!
much, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much,
Gauranga!
Prabhuji.
Nityananda,
Thank you.
Nityananda,
Hare
Gauranga.
Krishna.
Jai Jai Shri Radhe
Prabhu,
Shyam,
Hare
Sabki
Krishna.
Vrindavan.
Hare Bol.